That's how we're starting with EJ flipping off Peyton. I can't believe you can withstand the chlorophyll taste.
You don't like it?
I don't like the
No, I think
chlorophyll taste.
it's kind of like it's like lightly minty.
Yeah.
Like that's the most that's happening.
So what do you know what chlorophyll does for you, or you just
Someone once told me it was good for me, and I was like, "Fuck it, that's enough." I think it's supposed to help you hydrate better, right?
gotcha? I don't know. Here's the thing I do. I read about like why blueberries are so important, and then I forget it, and I just always remember you gotta eat blueberries.
Blueberries are important.
That's
Yeah,
it.
Gary Vee says it. Antioxidants and whatnot.
You listen to a lot of Gary Vee?
He pops in every once in a while, and I dig his "F it, I am who I am" attitude that is mixed with sort of aggressive kindness, which is kind of me when I'm drunk. I'm aggressively kind. I'm like, "Fucking love you."
Yeah.
Who hurt you? I will hit them. That's
Yeah.
kind of
Ooh.
it's kind of the direction I
You
go.
get passionate. You know
Yeah.
what's so funny about the way social media has been introduced to the world in the past 20 years, I guess you should say.
Has it been? Holy shit!
Yeah. 20 years, right?
It has been about 20 years. Yeah,
Okay.
MySpace, Skonex. Skonex was like a high school thing when I was in high school. Like only high school kids could get on it, and that was about 20 years ago.
Yeah. We had Zanga online. You know, I would say, you know what, I'm
18
going
years.
to
Maybe it's like 18.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it the age of the internet in the 90s. That's what I'm going to say, because there's an interesting thing that happened, and that's where people are always trying to figure out, who am I? What's my identity? What how do I compare to other people, right? And if you think of pre-internet days, well, you've got TV and radio that really influenced people, right? And then if you think before that, it was plays and theater and newspaper and novels and writing that really influenced people. So with the age of internet and social media, man, people are more screwed than ever, I think.
Okay. I think that is completely understandable. I don't fully agree. Just because, yeah, I do think that like we're exposed to so much so quickly, and we have the universe in this little magical rectangle, and that's the potential screw, right? It's like you're not just comparing yourself to your neighbor, you're comparing yourself to the entire world. And in that respect, I absolutely agree. But then you think of like those old pictures of people on the subway in the 20s, and no one's looking at each other and everyone's reading their newspaper. You know, I think that like we're always as humans going to have these temptations to seek out information in others because we're natural voyeurs. But I don't know if it's always like we're as screwed as ever. I feel like there's like a balance that starts to happen. Like new technology is integrated. We are obsessed with it, and then we find more balancing point. But maybe I'm wrong.
No, you make an interesting point there. I don't have all the statistics in front of me, but here's why I say that. And you look at influencers, like when Vine first was coming out, and then you had the YouTubers really popping, right? And I'm not talking about all YouTubers. I'm talking specific ones who are doing things like, I'm going to give an example, like Logan Paul or the Jake Pauls during that time period, or those stupid prank invasion
the clickbait
wars.
YouTubers, yeah.
Yeah, so the issue I have with that is those are influencing the coming generations, and it's the stuff that they're influencing them is completely and to a certain extent ethically kind of horrible, you know?
I dig that. I dig that.
That's why I say that from that small niche of the internet. Yes, you have like YouTubers who have millions of subscribers. Like I just subscribed to some guy. He's like, the more you know, or actually I should find out what he is, but he was in a nuclear submarine for like a day, and he shot all these videos, and he teaches you about how it works and stuff. And so there's people like that out there where you're like expanding your mind and information about the world that you live in. But I think no, you're right. I shouldn't be so pessimistic.
That's the other edge to the sword. But you're not mistaken to call out a blade as a blade. Yeah. Like it scares me that I have nieces, and thank God they're well balanced individuals, but they're continually influenced. Everything okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll check it periodically.
They are continually influenced by these teenagers who started YouTubing as preteens, who are like, in my mind, like weirdly already sexualized in clothing and outlook, and like this attempt to already be grown up. I remember like myself when I was a little littler, all my friends were just already like, everyone was already trying to fuck, and I still wanted to play hide and go seek, and I think that like
Whoa.
yeah.
How old were you?
I mean, we're like junior high school kids. Everyone's already trying to like hook up and meet each other and try to find a thing.
Okay.
You know, like people are
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
into their sexuality. I don't know why I used air quotes. It's a real thing. It's real. Right? But I was never in a rush to grow up. I think that you should never do that. I think it's like dying. I think that when you grow up, you stop growing, and that's a very, very dangerous thing. But that's my fear with a lot of this like influencer culture, is that you get people creating the appearance of something that's not where they actually are yet, because it gets clicks or it gets views or it gets likes. But my hope is that even the people that are doing that, like you even see like Logan Paul seeming to shift into something that is hopefully an understanding that, you know, he was doing things for attention, and it's not soulful, man. It's not real.
Yeah.
So I hope that people start to recognize that. Can I
That is
fix
the
this?
worst mic stand. This is an on-running joke in the show, by the way, and
I feel like you're not attracted to me anymore. That's what it feels like.
it's not attracted to anyone. And this is the problem, that as soon as I get back to LA, I'm throwing out all of our mic stands.
Maybe you want to listen to something else. I don't know.
Speaking of sexuality.
I'm just gonna do this, dude.
Yeah.
There we go.
Guys, I realized I didn't even do my intro because I want to do my intro with EJ. So for those of you listening, EJ is a remarkable actor. He's been in a lot of things. Bull, Road to the Homeland, correct?
Road to the Homeland.
That's not it. That's not it at all. I literally just looked it up. Road to the Home.
It's cool, man.
What is it?
So I've been in some stuff. I've been Bull. I had a series. I had a recurring on Bull. The show you're talking about is a mini series from National Geographic called Long Road Home.
Long Road Home. Not Road to the Homeland, which is probably another
You know
movie.
what? Well, let's write it. Road to the Homeland. And then we're like, which way do you go? You're from Syria. I am from maybe Puerto Rico. That way.
I'm working with EJ, for those of you listening, because we're going to take a quick break, but we're going to get more into this conversation. I'm working with EJ on this great pilot for NBC called The Getaway. And I haven't seen you work, but the whispers around set and everything saying that you're an incredible actor.
Horrible person.
And bad person.
No one likes
and
me.
a diva. And very weird ways of getting into character. Like there's chickens that you slaughter right before you shoot.
Brujeria, papa.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
bruja. By the way, such a fucking cool name for a witch in Spanish.
Bruja?
Bruja. Like
Bruja.
that's what a witch should be called all over the world. Is bruja.
Well, isn't that true for like most of the English is kind of it's diluted. It's a diluted ancient
is.
language, right?
It varies.
It's just
It varies.
whitewashed. It varies.
It varies.
Varies, yeah. I have so many things in Spanish or just other languages are just so much more textured, even in the way that the sounds come out of your mouth. Like I remember, I don't speak Spanish fluently, which is something that the people on this show didn't fully know maybe when they hired me.
You're pretty fluent though.
But
You're not giving yourself enough credit.
That's fair.
You're not giving yourself enough credit. I'm trying to save your career.
No,
but go ahead.
No, you're not wrong. When I speak it, you'll never know. No, whatever. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna take Spanish lessons after this for sure.
Well, are you gonna take Spanish lessons or Spanish lessons?
I know what I said. What do you want? But there's in Spanish. Just my point, real quick, is a kiss that I want to bite you is just sounds like you're chewing on that shit when it comes out of your mouth, right?
You told me that when I first met you.
But un beso de mordelón
Yeah.
is Spanish for like I just can't help but want to bite you. I did say that the first time I met you, didn't it?
And I went,
hey.
huh?
There
Hey
you
guys,
go.
we gotta take a quick break, and then when we come back, I'm gonna get into a lot with EJ, and we're gonna talk about possible and for sure podcast that he's definitely gonna do in the future, and we're gonna get into that. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube, just hit that subscribe button. That goes a long way for us, and the bell icon as well, so you know when you get the latest episodes. And yeah, thank you to all of our new subscribers. We'll be right back after this break. I gotta say, this has been one of the better places to record on the go than.
You mean your personal casita, like your little house that has its own little pool?
What was your reaction when they first showed you this place?
Thank you. Honestly, I was blown away. And then the other side of it, you and I actually talked about this a little bit, was I almost felt undeserving. Because part of it is like, yes, we're in this incredible amount of beauty and luxury. And
I'm so sorry to stop you.
No, I know,
You might
it's
as well just
happening.
hold it. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
gonna.
yeah.
You're gonna have to hold it. Sorry, brother.
I said I've been told that before.
I'm gonna blame this on Peyton.
Hmm?
That's the thing
Fucking
to do
shit,
as a boss.
Peyton, do your job, bro.
Peyton, what do you?
Heavy lifting, right here.
Next time you come here, you set all this up and you wait for me to record in this,
And then leave.
and then
And go hang out in Merida, okay? Because this place is not for you. It's for him.
there's not enough space in this casita for Peyton.
No, it's this 500 square room foot casita. No.
No, if you guys do yourself a favor, look up Chable Resort Yucatan and see the casitas that we're in.
Yeah, it's a little disgusting. And so I was blown away by the beauty of this land. I was blown away by like the trees here are all over 200 years old. The resort is not like other resorts where like they trashed everything and bulldozed everything down and then built what looks pretty. They carved this result into the land that already existed, which I have a lot of respect for. I felt awkward, honestly, being in this much luxury, being served by people who look like me. I'm a Puerto Rican boy from Brooklyn. I'm a brown boy, and it made me physically uncomfortable. And what I had to realize was, this is also land that is gorgeous as it is, that it's a land that's experienced a significant amount of trauma. This space used to be a plantation in the 1800s, and that within itself says something. And I think I had to make peace with that before I could really enjoy it. But after that, I was like, oh, look at these double showers. And part of me wished I had a lover here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized, not to be cheesy, but this space has given me opportunity to really love myself, to not just spend time with myself, but to sincerely spend quality time alone, talking out loud to God and myself.
Yeah. I remember you telling us that, me and some other people, when you first came here, it was a great opportunity for you to reconnect with yourself and God. And you would, be taking these walks, kind of talking and.
No, it's been huge. Yeah, like one of the first nights, I bought a cigar. There's like a little cigar bar here on the resort, and I just walked around the property smoking and like talking aloud. And I think sometimes we feel so lonely, and we don't really remember that we're never really, really alone. And so much of the things that seem to ail us are so often self-inflicted and just so often fear. And, fear isn't fact, right? I'm afraid I'm not enough. I'm afraid she doesn't love me. I'm afraid. And so this space has really given me this amazing opportunity to just let go and recognize that everything is already okay.
What do you say to people who don't have that feeling that there is someone with them at all times, or that they feel constantly alone? What would you say to the people like that?
Talk out loud to yourself. I don't think you have to believe in a specific God or religion. I think that all of the spiritual vessels are a way for you to connect to what's already inside of you, and whether you call that the universe or you call that Allah or you call that God or whatever, Jesus or whatever it is, or if it's none of the above, then connect to self. You know, speak out loud to yourself and let it be okay that you answer. You know, I think that you might find you're far more interesting than you realized. And something that really hit me today is we spend so much time walking into spaces unsure of ourselves and worried that, they won't like me. Well, they have this and I'm not that. And so much of what we're doing is it's just projection. It's our fear that we're not. And often we'll leave those situations not even being open to the fact that we're already beloved by the people that we walked into a connection with, because we're so afraid that we aren't. So if you're not talking to God, if you're not talking to your ancestors, if you're not talking to the universe or spirits, talk to yourself and remind yourself the way you would your very best friend. Everything's okay. I see you. You are so beautiful. What reason does anyone have not to already love you other than your fear that you're unlovable? You know?
That's especially prevalent in a pilot situation with actors, because you're always wanting to be liked by everyone, and you're also wanting to impress everyone at the same time.
Are we trying to impress?
Absolutely. Like some actors are. EJ, you don't think that actors trying to impress
I think it's a dangerous place to go to in your head.
Not for me.
Yeah.
I'm saying like that's
A lot of
prevalent.
us?
Yeah, like for actors, they want to, like, when you show up on a set, you want to, like, for me personally, I want to do a good job.
Yes.
I want to make sure I service the story and everything like
Yes.
that. Some other actors, like, I had these feelings too whenever I was shooting. Oh, I want to make sure, I want to impress these people and make them, like, show them that I'm a good actor. And it's like, that's a silly thought, because I already got the job. I just got to.
You're here because you deserve to be here, and I think that if there is any advice that we're giving to other actors or younger actors or less experienced thespians, so much of what we do is not about making it happen. I like to say that art is something you have to hold gently, that so much of what we do is a letting go of.
Oh, that's an interesting
You know,
philosophy.
that, like, before a take, I'll be like, fuck it, let's rehearse. Fuck it. I can't control anything, Wesam. I can't make you like me. Your feelings about me, about yourself, are none of my fucking responsibility. I am here to do what I fucking do, and I love what I do. So why muddy my time here with the worry of something that doesn't really matter? I can't control whether you like me or if you think I did a good job. For example, do you think I'll overshare if I share? I might overshare.
I don't know. I actually had a couple things to branch off of what you said
ahead.
before you overshare. Yes, you can't control other people. However, you can definitely influence to a certain degree.
It's not my place. It's not my place to influence you to like me. I don't have to manipulate you to like me or want me or hopefully hire me again. It's not my place to rub elbows or hopefully you think that I'm good enough to come back. Suck a dick. Fuck all that shit. I'm here to do what I do. I am already kind. I am already loving. I am already enough. I don't have to waste my time attempting to prove otherwise, which is something I can't do anyway. I can't prove otherwise. It's bullshit.
You can't prove what?
I can't prove that I'm good enough to you. I can't prove anything to you. If that's my intent when I walk in the door, I'm not in character. I'm not playing. I'm not letting go.
Are you talking about specifically for shooting?
Well, I mean, I think it's something that works for everything in life. I think that I can have a crush on this person, on this girl, and I can want her so badly to like me that it can encompass my every thought, and that alone keeps me from being who I already am, which may already be someone she likes. And so you're blocking yourself by muddying your time with shit you can't control. Be present, let go of the rest. You know? Does that make sense, or am I talking weirdly? Sometimes I talk too much.
No, there's a lot to unfold with what you said, that's for sure. especially with, you know, and it's not just in a pilot setting either. It's in a, it could be a work class setting. It could be a, you know,
That's real.
class setting.
Yep,
It could be
that's
at
real.
school where, you know, you want to be part of the group. And I think there are benefits of being part of the right groups, but I think it's a trial and error too. I think that's part of the process of finding yourself and of identity. And you will constantly change. So I think that's also another problem that we face is the fact that our identity, our who we think we are, is constantly evolving because the world around us is changing. And then also we're dealing with physical changes as well as the years go by. So as soon as we think we found something, you know, a couple of years later, we're like, oh shit, maybe this isn't what it is. And so you're on this constant cat and mouse game.
I hear everything you're saying, and please, anyone watching, like, don't mistake the things that I'm passionately talking about with the way I think all the time. So often I'm riddled with so much insecurity that it's crippling. But I'm passionately fighting in a very loving way to just let go of all of that. Because I think the truth is, excuse me, let me just get that out.
All the chlorophyll. So
Just
much
hydrating.
chlorophyll.
So much hydration.
You drank all that chlorophyll.
I did. I chug a bottle of that water every morning. I try to before I drink any coffee. You already are something incredible. And if you spend your time trying too hard to fit in, maybe you're not letting yourself be what you already are. If I can just calm down, stay open to experiences, I can allow myself to shift into whatever it is I will shift into, instead of overthinking, where do I fit in now? I don't want to be in perpetual high school with this fear of, like, will they like me, and am I enough, and now that my body's shifting and I've gained weight and my fucking breasts are sagging, because men have breasts too. Trust me, I know. Does this not make me lovable? And now will she or he or they just not want to even be around me? Do you want to be around you? And I truly believe that beauty is it's a mirror, man. It's a reflection of self. Do I feel beautiful? I was before I booked this gig, I was the biggest I've ever been, weight-wise, and I've absolutely struggled with body image issues for years, my whole life. I was a bigger boy when I was littler. And I remember walking. I've also dealt with, like, spinal stuff, back pain, physical shit that, you know, it sucks. Healing is very difficult, and chronic pain shifts personality. You can be the most joyous person, and then you're so tired of not getting out of bed easy that you will become just angry. So I was in a space where my body was healing more, and I was coming back from the chiropractor, and I realized from my reflection in this building window in Manhattan, I was shifting my shoulders over. I was hunching. And I remember thinking, why are you doing that, man? And I realized, I'm trying to hide. I'm trying to hide what I look like. I feel fat, and I don't want anyone else to know that. Bro, you already are what you look like. You're already there. If you were lean, how would you be holding your body? And I was like, I'm a fucking ballerina. I'd be here. He's like, so then be there. And if things pop out and your shirt feels funny and it falls in a way that you are afraid is unattractive, maybe just let that be okay. Because maybe it's okay to be exactly where you are. Whatever that looks like. However you feel about that. Let me face the fear of not looking good by owning how I happen to look.
I think that is a great message, and it's wonderful. No, I'm being dead serious.
I believe you.
I own it. How you look right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you're happy, like if you're looking at it, you're like, you know what? This is how I am right now. At the same time, though, and this is an extreme case. I don't want like a crackhead to be looking in the mirror and be like,
No, I hear that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that.
Because, and this is my perspective on life, there has to be some sort of discipline in life. I'm not saying everybody should be super athletes. I'm not saying everybody should be able to, you should be able to run 5 miles at any point in time. You know what I mean? No. But definitely there is a range of living a healthy lifestyle. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I just also believe that part of the road to becoming healthy and not obsessed is it's okay to be happy where you are and still recognize I want more. I didn't start to get healthy and lose the weight. I wasn't saying well, just accept where you are and you'll automatically be happy. No. Part of becoming happy is starting to let it be okay that you are where you are. Once you're in that space and you shifted to that acceptance that this isn't evil, this isn't bad, I'm a good person, this is okay. Is this what I want for forever? If the answer's no, now let me start to shift behavior to help me get to a healthy space, as opposed to what I've done in the past, which is, I've lost 30 and more pounds 6-7 times for film and TV and myself. I've healthily crash dieted, but like really strict diets with egg whites and protein and fish oil and working out 5 times a week. And I've done all of that. I'm so happy I'm in a place where, because I was happy where I was, the habits were easier to find that helped me shift to a place where I would like to be. But you should be able to be happy wherever you are, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and specifically with the idea of self-improvement is really critical in this day and age. And I'm just gonna speak on my experience on life, because that's all I can really attest to. So I know for me, if I don't have discipline, if I don't have a certain element of my life that's of service to my community or my family, if I don't have a certain element to my life that will improve something about me mentally, physically, or spiritually, it causes so many negative things to happen and bad habits. So that's why when I say these things, I know on certain episodes and just in life, I can seem really intense or I'm all about running before dawn up a mountain. You got to do it. That's not everybody's
MO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I realize. I need structure.
Yeah.
And it needs to be healthy structure.
I
find
that.
it.
Sorry.
No. I was just gonna say, and you got to find that balance. And so, where did I find that balance in life? Is watching these extreme athletes and going, okay, I know I'm not gonna run an ultramarathon in this lifetime. More than likely,
we don't know.
Probably not. In all honesty, however, I realized, oh shit, there is really a lot of benefits for me to running. And I started this mile club with me, my brother, and my cousin. And we started this, oh man, I don't know how many months it's been, to be completely frank with you. But we promised each other, hey, let's just walk a mile. If you can't run it or jog it, we're just going to walk a mile every day. And you watch the group messages, and we've posted our workouts every single day, and you'll see us, this slow build.
Happier, yeah.
And excite, and we're getting happier with each other. We're like, oh, dude, you're killing it today. Yeah. And that motivates me to do better. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to push myself a little bit more. But at the same time, we're not unhealthy competition. Like, my ankle was hurt. And I told him, hey, guys, I'm just going to do some strength workout, upper body, not going to run just to let the ankle heal. And they're like, cool, at least you're getting it in, kind of thing. Yeah. So that's where I stand on this whole thing. I hope that clarifies and branches out on what you're speaking.
I understand you beautifully. I think that's your version of your spiritual practice, right? Like I call it quieting the storm, right? It's like what Jim Carrey said. He said, it's not that I don't believe in depression. It's that if you don't have, if you're not eating healthy, exercising, praying, and giving yourself these opportunities, then you're not giving yourself a fighting chance.
Right.
We are always going to be our worst enemy if we don't find our ways to quiet the storm. What is your community in your running club is my waking up with coffee and journaling for an hour or so, and then making sure I eat well and I sweat throughout the day and I find time to exercise. Like, it quiets the storm so I can be at peace with myself. I believe that I've been saying this a lot this week, actually, because I've been going through a healing being in this space, and I'm recognizing that, you know what? Really healed people are joyous. We find joy in small moments.
I agree with you. We got to take a break in here in a little bit, but I'll tell you something that brings me joy is making a bunch of people sing happy birthday to someone when it's not their birthday.
Yes. Anthony, happy birthday, man. Congratulations.
You know whose birthday it is today, though? And
Anthony?
when you're watching this, it's definitely not his birthday because time has passed. Sebastian's.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, then, mate, happy birthday.
What accent was that?
Happy birthday.
What accent is that?
Oi.
He's not Australian.
Happy birthday.
He's not Australian at all.
Happy birthday.
We got to take a break.
Hey everybody, it's Peyton here, producer of Wesam's World. As is the risk with these episodes on the go, there is the strong possibility that if there's any technical issues, they will go unnoticed until the last second. And sadly, that is what happened. This last part of the episode will be using the camera's audio because the audio file got corrupt. We apologize. We still hope you stick around, but just bear with us. We tried to add a few little noise cancellation things to it, but it's an iPhone's microphone, so you know how good it can be. Thank you guys for bearing with us, and enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, we're back. I want to talk about this podcast you want to do.
Yeah.
What and the genesis of it.
The genesis of it. Okay.
Yeah. So what is the genesis?
Oh yeah, okay. Let's just start. So I've been developing and starting to create this podcast called "You Are Not Your Father." It is a space where young men of color can come together to discuss what it is to be male in 2021, discussing everything from relationships to politics to the books we're reading and everything else in between. We call it's like barbershop talk without the toxic masculinity. The part of the goal of the show is to target toxic masculinity as a focal point. My buddy likes to say it's the show we wish we would have found when we were 14 years old. Mm-hmm. And hopefully it creates a space for young men to have conversations that they may not be having at home but wish they were, or maybe for parents or single moms who may not fully recognize that, like, maybe this is something you should talk to your sons about. But as far as the genesis of why I felt this was like something that needed to exist, I often have gone into schools in like urban environments. I've gone to schools and talked to kids about acting and what it takes to follow your dreams. And I went for a visit to BAA, Boston Arts Academy. I had an amazing time there. One of the former teachers invited me, found me on Instagram, and asked me to come in. She had showed her students a film that I was in, and it was a great opportunity because, like, here is someone who's doing what you guys are trying to do. It's a performing arts school, and he looks like you. And I'm not that far from their age, so it's something special, yeah. And I went in and I had a 2-hour masterclass with like over 60 kids in the acting program, and it was magical. But I'd heard that some of the boys were being kicked out of the play because they were creating trouble and there was stuff happening. So I had asked if I could talk to just the young men, if I could talk to just the boys in a little circle and have like a little powwow. And the first thing that came to me, because it's something that I've struggled with, especially as an artist who doesn't necessarily fit into the cliche stereotype of what a man is supposed to be. I'm a very sensitive boy. I'm a poet from a family of warriors. So many times in my life, I just felt like I wasn't manly or masculine enough. I wasn't enough of a fighter. I wasn't enough of this. I wasn't enough. And so what was called to me to say to these young men, the first thing that came out of my mouth after just letting them sit there in silence and a little bit of awkwardness for a moment was, I just want to let you guys know something before we continue this conversation, okay? You're not your father. You're just not. You can't be. You're not your uncles or your brothers or the older other men in your life that you think you're supposed to be like. And that's not a bad thing, guys. That is exciting. It's beautiful. It means you get to figure out, because whatever the fuck it is that you actually are, that's yours. And I just let it sit. And I watched while at least 2 or 3 of these young boys covered their eyes to cry, to weep, to let something go, to let it out. And it was that moment that I realized how vital it is to give someone permission to be whatever it is that they are. And so often the weight that we wear around our necks and on our backs is this pressure that we've often put on ourselves, or maybe our families also shoved it too, to be something that we can never actually be. And so I like to say, take the meat and spit out the bones. Take the things that work for you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, family. I will carry this with me. I love this. This is helping me. But the rest I have to let go. And so for years I thought, how powerful a moment that was. And then talking with my buddies one day, I was like, oh, it'd be great if we had a show where we can all just get together and without the bullshit and talk real and show perspective as men of color that maybe we don't get to see a lot of. And so my hope is that my buddy Matthew Sandoval, he's a professor at Arizona State. He's my co-host. The goal is to have a rotating seat or 2 with other men from our neighborhoods or buddies or family, just so we have more of a community in the space to sit down and discuss everything. And we have a list of special guests that we want to have as well. But yeah, our hope is that this show can become medicine to those who may not even realize they need it.
That's a pretty remarkable podcast, and I think a lot of young men will definitely need that at whatever point in time they come in contact with this podcast. It's going to be interesting to see how it affects maybe, I don't know if 15-year-olds listen. I hope 15-year-olds listen to podcasts. I would think they do, and to get that out there to them is going to be a nice challenge, and it'll be great, I want to say something though. You said you take the meat, spit out the bones, right? I've been reading a lot about the non-duality of life. Are you familiar with this?
Tell me, the non-duality of life.
Yeah, how everything is connected. Everything is one. And so you can't enjoy the sunny days without having the rainy days. That kind of, you've heard those.
Of course, yeah.
So I think sometimes, and especially in religion or when you're growing up, people will tell you, don't do that. That's bad. That's it. It's bad. Don't even think about it. Don't even look at it. It's bad. Okay. Like they don't even acknowledge it exists. And I think evolving on what you said with that term, I'd rather evolve from the bad habits of my ancestors, of my father, of my mother, you know what I mean?
That's part of
and
it,
learn from and acknowledge it. I think so many families.
That's part of taking the meat and spitting out the bones. It's saying, I recognize this is a whole fish. What's the lesson to be learned? The meat isn't just the positive. The meat is whatever suits and benefits you.
Okay. I was just for clarification for me, because I think it's so important to acknowledge a lot of families tend to hide things of like the bad family members. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Does that happen?
Yeah, we show our world, we show everyone the good hand to like remark off of a sermon I saw recently.
Yeah.
But we don't like to show like the shriveled up hand, the one that's not so pretty.
Yeah.
We like hide that because that's not as attractive. No, fuck all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
This is all of me. I overshare. I'm overly honest.
And another aspect to the non-duality is acknowledging and accepting that this is the reality we live in. This physical world. This is what it is. There's the positive and the negative. And we actually had a few cast members while we were shooting this. I'm not going to mention any names specifically, that had really close people pass away. And in the middle of filming.
Bless him. God bless him.
And made me think of this. As most actors, including myself, will find something to maybe unconsciously complain about a job.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. There's no job that's going to be absolutely perfect or absolutely smooth, right? So just that alone makes the miserable parts not as miserable. Just going, it's part of it. We got to deal with this. And so it made me think of whenever you lose a loved one, when you become friends with someone, you're not like, shit, this person's going to die someday every time you hang out with them. You're not focusing on that aspect that you're going to lose them. So acknowledging that will happen and then being so present in all of it, I think is a smoother ride.
A smoother ride as opposed to
focusing in on the negative all the time or being obstructed by it where you just get consumed by it.
Yeah, okay, so this is what you're saying is beautiful. It reminds me of this. We often like to focus on the positive feelings, right?
Right.
We want just the happy. But the truth is, you're also not any of your feelings. You're not just you happy. You're not just you sad. You are all of those things.
Absolutely.
It's why it's like, I like to say, honor all of it. Your feelings are your superpower.
Yeah.
They are. Honor all of it. Your melancholy is just as important as your joy. Know that it's all going to come like this. And so you don't have to say, well, here's the good side of me. Only the good side. Please like me. Right? I am a flawed human being. I can never be perfect. I never will be. I hope that by virtue of being brave enough to bear myself, which is part of what we do as artists, right? We have the courage to bear ourselves, and our hope is that by bearing my humanity with honesty, I will render my audience more human. That is what good art does. It reminds you of your own humanity, both flaw and all.
I'm gonna read to you a beautiful poem by Rumi. Are you familiar with Rumi?
I've heard of him.
And I'm gonna read to you guys something that is very on point of what we're talking about. It's called The Guest House. This being is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meaning, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes because each has been sent as a guide from the beyond.
I love this. We get so happy when we're blessed with something, and for those of us who choose to believe it, we're like, thank you God. For those of us who say thank you God, thank you universe, we're like, oh yes, I have this thing. And yet we forget to rejoice when something's taken away from us. It's all a blessing. It's all going to lead you to where you're going, and you can't control anything. I can control what I choose to say and do for the most part. Even that feels hard most of the time. You know what I mean? Other than that, there's something beautiful about letting things be and honoring it all. I can be kind, I can be loving, I can put myself in check when I am not. But outside of that, come on, man.
I want to tell people too, when you start doing this, it's not going to be easy. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is hard to do. What, are you crazy? This isn't something an insane person would do. My mom's in the hospital. How can I be happy about that? No. It's difficult. You got to welcome it. You're not going to stop this from happening.
It's not about being happy all the time.
No.
It's about acknowledging that you're not just two sides of a coin, you're a sphere. And inside that sphere is this and that color and your anger and your shame, but also your joy and the way that you love. Like, you're all of these things. It's just, you're right. It's a process. It's about creating, you know how like you do these healthy things and then you're happy. And then now that you're happy, you stop doing the healthy things, and then a month later you're like, why do I feel like shit? Well, consistency, you know? Do the thing, the discipline, right? Do the things that are good for you when it's difficult to do them.
Absolutely. There's something that another illumination I had on this trip is like, oh my gosh, when things aren't going great, I'm like in my personal life with family or whatever, and it's heavy, I go, oh, thank you, God. This is a great opportunity for me to practice my faith. I'm thankful for this. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to strengthen my faith in the process and in you and in the way this universe works. I appreciate this. Thank you. And last night I was so sleepy on set. And I was like,
ouch.
And it wasn't that late yet. And I was like, oh man. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, no. Remember when you weren't working and how miserable it was. This is nowhere close to that.
Yeah, see your blessings, brother.
And that's why I was like, yeah, I'm about to pass out, but this is awesome. And it made me think of my workouts that I do whenever I go hard.
It shifts you, man.
Yeah. It makes you feel stronger, and it's hard. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a constant practice.
To shift your focus into joy. It really is. Like being joyous, I can be joyous in this moment and still be like sad and depressed and be like, I'm going through a lot, Lord, but I find joy in that I have the opportunity to be in this. I have the opportunity to learn from it. I have the opportunity to grow here, and I'll find joy in that. But it is a very difficult thing, and often you talk to people about it, and it's we're too busy being angry and holding on and getting tense to even let ourselves be happy in difficult moments, you know.
It sucks, man. It sucks. I always think of how much horribleness there is in this world. How at times it seems so bleak. And that's also one of the reasons I did this podcast. Like when I'm having these conversations with people, there's maybe little bits of wisdom can help you get through whatever you're going through. Because again, turning back to social media, like you see my Instagram or somebody else's Instagram, you're like, God, this guy doesn't have any problems. And it's like, I'm not posting about all my personal problems, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not posting about this stuff, but everybody, and it's not cheesy because it's actually true, but you know, to be kind to everyone. Everybody's fighting their demons and insecurities and all that stuff. It's very true. Also, you don't know the whole story most of the time. As I've learned in life, I'm like gonna turn 34 this year. You never know the whole story. Bro, that is one of the things I know for sure is that you'll never know the full story on anything.
No.
Even stuff that's happened to you personally.
Look at our history books. Who have they been colored in by?
Exactly.
Right? It's the spoils to the victor go the spoils, right? Like to the wealthy go the history we want to write down that helps our perspective. Like we don't know the whole story. I love that. It's very true.
I love mediating fights between my family members because I'm like, well, both of you, somebody's lying or both of you are insane. And I can't say that to any of them.
Often it's you're both lying to yourselves. You're both just lying to yourselves because you're both wrong. And I don't want to get in the middle of it fully, but you're both being kind of assholes right now.
You ever experienced that? Where two family members tell you something completely different and you're like, okay.
All I do is I'm just like, I hear you. Interesting. Well, do you think, is it possible she meant this? Interesting. Okay, and I'm with the other person. I'm like, interesting. Really, I can understand why you would feel that way, but is it possible he thought you meant this? And they're like, no way. And I'm like, I know because I've talked that you're wrong. But we get sometimes it's this thing. It's like letting go is a difficult thing to do. We don't. Letting go isn't this. Letting go is. Nope. Here it comes. Nope. 2 more years.
Yeah.
And eventually, you don't even realize that you're doing something else. You're like, oh, we don't want to let go of our anger. We don't want to let go of our anger. We don't want to let go of our pain. We don't want to let go of I'm right and I know I'm right, because there's this weird fucked up thing we want to prove to ourselves that doesn't really ever work.
It's crazy to think that all this is going to end for both of us at a certain point.
You mean our lives?
Yeah, when you really think about it. No, I'm being serious. It's like the most insane, like, think when you really think about it, like, that is what life. One of the things in life that will always happen to every single person. You're gonna die.
No, we're gonna die. Yeah. What made you say that just now?
It's about letting go.
Oh, letting go of, like, the fear of death. You mean?
And
is that part of it?
You have to let go of everything, because guess what, guys? Eventually,
you can't take it with you.
You can't take anything with you.
I hear that. Yeah, I hear that.
I love these, and I brought it up on the show before. Billionaires who just keep making more money.
You mean like Bezos and all them folk?
Yeah.
Or
it's such an interesting concept to me, to, like, at a certain number just to keep going.
It depends, though. I think that, like, some of the biggest entrepreneurs aren't after money. I think they're after innovation in their lifetime. I think that people want to be remembered. I think that money is a big part of it, but I don't think it's just about making more money. I think that Elon Musk has a very real vision for what he wants for the world.
Okay.
And part of the tools of the equation is billions of dollars.
I'll give you a few billionaires a pass with that theory.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
So,
I guess I'm thinking of certain people, but you're right. I'm sure plenty of people.
I'm talking about the
dirty
majority
making money, like the Koch brothers can suck it.
Look at the number of the disbursement of wealth in this country. I saw an actual graph of it,
Yeah,
and it's like it showed one person in the Northwest United States represents how much space versus money. You know, like that comparison of.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Like the rich are so rich. This is how I'm going to break it down for you guys. The richest people are so rich. It'd be the equivalent of one person living by themselves in Northwest America.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah. So Sebastian and I were talking about that a little bit, and he was like, "It's like a fucking monarchy, right? It's like we're back in medieval times, where we have the royals, and then we have mostly everyone else, and it's disgusting. It does make me sad that we're so afraid to tax the rich, especially when we did it during the World Wars, which is why we stopped doing it for a while, because we wanted to give them a tax break because they helped with the war so much, and then it never got switched back, which is...
It's almost like our politicians are bought out by these corporations to continue these laws that support that. It's almost, you know what? It's almost like that.
Don't speak story. That's ridiculous.
I love talking like that. It's my favorite way. Hey, oh shit, what was I gonna say? The idea of minimum wage.
I don't mean don't speak story like it's I meant like, stop, that's fiction.
I thought you were talking about the way I was, bit I was doing.
I would never call out a bit in the middle of a bit. It's the worst thing you could ever do. Never.
I misunderstood.
No, but yes,
I was gonna say minimum wage.
Has it been raised in 30 years?
So, like, let's say you get $20 an hour, okay? You work for 8 hours. That's $160 a day. Take out taxes, that's $120, right? Ish.
Sure, maybe less, but yeah.
Yeah, let's say $120. Sure. You work 5 days a week, 6 days a week on that. Let's see, that's $600 a week roughly, and then $2,400 a month.
Ask me how much my mother made when I went to college a year.
How much did your mother make?
$23,000 a year.
Oh my goodness. This was in the 60s when you went to college?
In the 60s when I went to college, my mom made in my mind, in like 2006, I went to college. I qualified for the Higher Educational Opportunity Program. What? HEOP.
What does that
It's
sound?
the Higher Educational Opportunity Program.
Oh, it's an acronym.
It is indeed.
I thought you were making an excited sound.
No.
HEOP. I'm like, all right. Been
Been
hanging out around the Mayan Chabla a little too
I
long.
learned some words, and I use them now. I qualified for this amazing program that only exists in New York State. Other states have their version of it. I qualified because smart kid, good decent grades, and we were poor, like we were broke. So God bless my mother, who is here with me. I flew her out to the Chaplain. She's having an amazing time, because my mom is just one of the most beautiful, strong women I've ever even met. You know, my mother knows what it is to be full because she watched her children eat. My mother would, through programs at the bank, like layaway, put money away for this and have it when you need it. Would, like, in the summertime, put away for Christmas. Christmas time, put away for summer and birthday presents. She would have different little accounts that would take little snippets of her money, so she would work on very little. But when the moment came, we had money for vacations, school clothes, Christmas, you know. And kudos to my mom, because there were even presents under the tree from my dad that were like, my mom wanted me to have that idea of father in my life. Like, she's a parent through and through. Anything for her children. So, yeah.
You're very blessed, man. You're very blessed to have a mother like that. I got to meet her, and to have a guide like that is amazing in this life. And yeah.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Spiritual guide, a physical guide, and a protector, you know? And you're very lucky for that. And I don't know much about your personal family. I just know that I met your mom, and I got a really good vibe. I had a great conversation with her. And so, yeah, you're very blessed. Parents are.
I appreciate that, Wesam.
Yeah.
You're beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, she thinks you're a sweetheart too. She was like, "Oh, the boy who came and brought you Imodium." I was like, "Yeah." I had a shitty day, pun intended. I was sick with food poisoning, and this beautiful brother was like, "What you need, man? I got you," and just came over with Pepto and Imodium, and it helped a lot.
You got to thank Zach Appleman, because he's Zach Appleman. He's in the show.
Zachary.
He gave it to me when I was not good, and so I'm just passing on the love from him.
Pass on the love, man.
It's his birthday tomorrow. Everybody has birthdays.
Zachary, happy birthday! My birthday's September 8th. When's yours?
October 3rd.
Oh, okay. So we're all coming up.
Yeah.
Soon.
I'm trying to think, but I don't ever do anything for my birthday. Very rarely do I do stuff. People usually do stuff for me, and I'm like, it's okay.
That's amazing, though.
Yeah.
I have to plan my own fucking birthday, is what happens with me. I get to the point where I'm like, if I don't send out a group text to be like, who wants to go play laser tag, no one's gonna do it. So fuck it.
We're gonna, if you're listening on Adobe Radio right now, the show has ended. I'm so sorry. But if you want to watch the full episode of this, tune in tomorrow morning on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and you can listen and or watch the whole thing. Thank you for listening live on Adobe Radio. We out.
Blessings.
So something that I do, because I'm notoriously the most difficult person to shop for with everybody I know.
You tell people what you want?
No. I tell them, listen, I have everything I want. I've been very blessed the last few years in my life, and I have everything I want. Make a donation to, like, one of those, like, buy a goat for a family. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Do one of those things, and that'll make me really happy on my birthday, because I seriously have every physical possession I want.
Amen.
And then so they'll ask me, like, hey, how about this? And I'm like, no, that's not gonna make me happy.
No.
Like, as much as it's gonna make me happy knowing that some family got a goat.
I love that. No, I think that's gorgeous.
If you're blessed, not everybody can do this. I understand that, but I'm blessed in my life. You know,
you're blessed too. But if you happen to have all,
they're not. Those people aren't blessed.
I agree.
Can you imagine if I said that for real?
Man, fuck you.
It's all about money, people. Okay.
No, I hear you completely. I care very little for physical possessions, like the things that we need. Sure, I don't buy clothes very often. You know, I kind of like wear what's in my closet. I like to look good. I don't know if I'm doing a great job at it, but I kind of have the same stuff in my closet. I spend my money on experiences more than anything. So like, I also wouldn't be like, get me this thing. I don't want anything. I'd be like, just come spend time with me.
Oh yeah.
Let's play board games. Let's share a drink. Let's to get something delicious to eat that makes us viscerally happy.
You know what? I'm about experiences too. That is so much more fun. Good memories and experiences.
Absolutely.
You just bank away. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
It's not necessarily the club or the lounge we went to hang out. It's the diner at 4 a.m. over burgers and coffee and stuff like that.
Or let's rent a fishing boat.
Ooh.
Can you drive a boat, Wesam? Yeah, I can. Can you really drive a boat? Yeah, it's easy. Let's rent the fishing boat. Cool, we're on the open ocean. It's getting really bumpy. Oh no, somebody's throwing up. It's okay. Pandemonium.
Oh, no.
Did that happen? No, but is it gonna happen soon? Of course it is, because that's what I do to my friends.
Tune in tomorrow.
I
when it
love
happens.
watching my friends not in like real physical danger, but a little
Scared.
bit.
You like the fear. You
I
get
like-
off on it. Yeah.
Oh, and like in pain that won't cause permanent damage. That makes me so happy.
I want you to almost pull something and then heal tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, I love watching the people I love in situations like that.
I love
that
that.
makes me so happy.
Are you the kind of person that likes haunted houses?
Yeah, I used to. I actually, before I go to bed every night, I watch ghost hunting stuff or something scary.
You said that to me the first time we met.
Yeah.
I think that's a fascinating. It must say something. I don't know what it says about you, but it's beautiful.
It's
in
cozy.
a very interesting way.
It's cozy.
To be
Because I'm
like-
cozy.
I'm feel better about myself in this bed, even if it's hard or the pillow's not so soft, because your ass is having like old water dripped on you in a dungeon somewhere, hunting fucking celestial beings.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not. Listen. Also, with the ghost hunting stuff, I'd love to do it in person and actually do it because I
Would
want to
you?
experience something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But I have a
I'm
feeling that
petrified.
nothing's
That's
gonna
it.
happen. That's the thing I get.
I hear that. Yep. You go do it. I'm not.
You're not gonna do it?
Nope. I'm
You
not
scared
there.
of it?
I have had little experience.
What have you had?
Yeah, things are scary, man. I mean, look.
Things are scary.
Things are scary. My niece, my muñeca Paige tries to get me to watch scary movies with her, and I'm like, no.
For real?
I don't want to do it. And she's like, Theo, come on, it's so good. Watch The Conjuring, watch this, and I'll do it with her, for her,
Yeah.
because I love her so much.
They're
She's
great.
my little monkey, but I'm not a big fan of scary movies and stuff like that.
What about? Have you seen a ghost?
I can honestly say that I've felt things that freaked me the heck out,
Okay.
and I stopped being afraid of the dark when I found God. I was like, you know what? There's nothing to be afraid of. Whatever happens is gonna happen. I'm here, and it's cool, and I let it go. But I was like deathly afraid of the dark for years, like for real, like in through probably early high school, like very afraid.
Wow. I stopped being afraid of ghosts whenever I started paying taxes.
And you were like, well, nothing's scary.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I'm like, hey, you know what? I
Fuck
pay
you.
taxes now, so I can't. This is no. I really like some things were still scaring me, like being in like a big house by myself. But then like when I moved into the apartment with just me and my brother, before my brother moved in, I was like, I'm paying rent for this place. Like there better not be a ghost living free here.
When's the last time you had like a nightmare that shook you out of your sleep and it was hard to go back?
Oh, I get those not often, but every now. I think the last one I had, I was fighting a werewolf, or I used to have a reoccurring dream of a bruja in my old house, which
That
was
means a witch.
terrifying. And the last time I had a dream with her, I shot light out of my hands and killed her.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's poetic.
Here's something creepy though.
Yeah.
When I was explaining this to my brother, and mind you, this was in LA, so this was like 5 years ago or something. I was like, yeah, I used to have this recurring dream of a witch, and I would explain it. Yeah, in the same house. And I was like, excuse me? Excuse me? And he was like tearing up because he was like, holy crap. I'm like, yeah, that house, the old house we lived in.
That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. I'm like, things are connected, man.
I'm telling you, there was some really sketch things that happened in that home. really really like, okay.
Did he face her in the same way?
I don't know. I don't
Or
remember
was
what he
he
said.
because you faced her?
Yeah,
Did he?
I don't know. If I've had nightmares or anything like that,
Interesting.
I did have another dream about it years later, where the house was burned down and there was like a secret basement in there, and I was like, whoa,
Ooh, part 2.
that's kind of nuts, right?
I like that. I like that there's a continuation. I used to have this. I had this. I'll just say it out loud. I've not told many people about this, but it's a beautiful thing. I'll just say it to the universe, to the world. I had this recurring dream for years throughout elementary school. I mean, I think the last time I had it that I can remember was probably sometime in high school, college, maybe a few years ago, actually, maybe. And it was me and my 2 best friends, especially when we were littler. We just hung out all the time. My cousin John and Kiki, and we were running through the forest, and it was like a film. We were running through the forest, and it was autumn, and so the leaves were all falling down, and our steps were highlighted by the crunch of the fallen leaves. And I mean, there's so many on the ground that it's you don't see grass. It's just orange, gold, and red and brown and all that stuff. And the camera's just like panning with us, just trees whizzing by. We're running, we're chasing each other. It looks like we're just playing tag through the forest. And then all of a sudden, we make it to a clearing and we stop. And I realize that like there's no more trees around us. We've passed the edge of the tree line. There's a little bit of like grass, leaves, and then the edge of a road. And this black tar road is passing through this space. On the other side is a little bit more leaves and grass, and then another edge of the rest of the forest, and the forest goes on. And we all hit there at one point, one by one. I think it's me, my cousin John, our best friend Kiki, and we just stand there and we don't cross the road. And on the road there's like no leaves on it, nothing's touching it, it's just black, and the wind is passing through, and we're barely out of breath, but we're there. And then all of a sudden we realize death comes by, cloak and scythe and all, and stands next to us all on our left, and we're all lined up. It's me, my cousin Kiki, and then death. And we just stand there. And then the camera goes from like each of our faces, and then it pans up until it's over our heads, and until it's over the trees, and it's in the sky. And we're just sort of like a blip on the floor after that. And then I wake up. And I've had that exact dream tens of times since I was 5, 7.
There's some kind of symbolism in there.
I think it's beautiful. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
It's just extremely specific. It's
Very.
not blurry. It's incredibly clear.
I'm reading a book right now, Tibetan book of yoga
Living
and
and Dying?
dreams. No, that's actually a great book.
Yeah.
But it's basically talking about how dreams are our subconscious karmatic traces, and us trying to deal with them in certain ways.
Like
and our
Karma
spirit
from old lives, or
from it could be the current one.
Mm.
Yeah. It's a very complicated book, but they also do some practices in there to expand your spiritual journey while and your progression while you're dreaming, which takes a lot of consciousness.
Interesting that we're talking about this. I had this moment, like last night, like we were filming for late, and I had some things visit me. I had some insecurities pop up for myself, and I fell asleep kind of like asking God, Lord, let me dream about this and let it go. Like, let me address these things in my sleep, or let me just like have a great time so I can wake up feeling great, you know? Like, let me use my dream time as a time to let go.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Thank you.
Dude, I can't wait for your podcast to come out. And now you have to do it.
Yeah. Oh, it's in the works, by the way.
Oh, it's in the works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like we're working with this company called Workhouse, we have some producers that are helping us. They helped us get in contact with these people over at Workhouse. We had a meeting with the CEO of that company. They represent vocal talent.
Great.
And I think that they're editing our first, because we already have a pilot shot. We have our first
Excellent.
episode, and so the goal is to let's see what they do to trim it down a little bit and make it a little bit more whatever they decided to do. Because right now it's only voice.
Awesome.
And then I think the plan is to sell it so that we can get paid to produce it.
Perfect.
It'd be cool.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Best of luck, and I can't wait to see it and hear it.
Thank you, homie.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Great work on the show, and hope it gets picked up so we can go film it somewhere. We can't say where, but
We don't know where.
We don't know where.
But we have hopes.
Yeah,
Hawaii would be nice.
Transylvania. It's not a place anymore.
Czech Republic would be nice. It would be.
Eastern Europe would be a challenge.
Fantastic.
It would be a
Are
challenge.
you cold?
What?
Are you cold?
No, I love cold weather. I love extreme weathers
You like the extreme. That's beautiful. I love that.
because it's miserable, and you know me.
And you get to be bright and beautiful and use that misery to learn about yourself.
Exactly, and most of the time you won't die, so it'll be all right.
Most of the time.
That's how we're gonna end it. Most of the time you won't die. That should be a T-shirt.
That's the name of the show now. Most of the time, you won't die. But that one time.
But that one time ends it all.
You know that old Bugs Bunny cartoon? Do you
Which
know-
one?
where-
I used to watch all the old ones.
all the Looney Tune cartoons?
Yeah.
Where he comes in, he's like, hey, I got this great act, okay? I'm telling you, I go up a 2,500-foot ladder. I get to the top, I light myself on fire, okay?
Yeah.
I drink a shot of acid and tonic, and then I jump and I do a skinny dive into a 1-inch puddle of water. And the guy's like, he says it and he shows me. He shows the agent. He's like, I'm telling you, it'll be great. And he does it. And he comes out of the smoke, and the agent's like, that's amazing, it's amazing, we'll hire you, you're fantastic, do it. And the guy's like, but there's one problem, I can only do it once. And he's a ghost at that point. Remember that? No?
Oh no!
Yeah.
I like that.
Mhm.
This is Looney Tunes,
It's
the original.
It's an old Looney Tune. Yeah, it's an
Oh.
old, like, back when they weren't just the characters, back when they were like doing a bunch of little things, but it was Looney Tunes.
Do you remember when Bugs Bunny would go into that castle and that red furry thing?
Yeah, the angry monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Adobe Radio, Nice Guy Digital. Thank you to Peyton, Alexandra, my awesome producers. Appreciate you guys. Thank you to all our new subscribers. EJ, you're on Instagram as EJ.
EJ_Bonilla, EJ_BONILLA. That's also for everything across the board, I think.
And whenever you first were spelling your name to me,
Mhm.
my mind works so slow when people spell things for me,
Mhm.
and I was having so much difficulty with it.
Following EJ.
Following EJ,
No.
and then you were
No
like,
judgment.
there was a lot of judgment. There was a lot of judgment at
From
the
you
table.
to yourself or me?
Everybody else.
Not me, man.
Not you. Okay, good. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I always appreciate you. And always remember to listen, think, and then talk. Bye.